And welcome into the Gallagly Event Center, everybody, on the campus, the University of Colorado Springs, as we get set for Saturday night basketball. The Mountain Lions of UCCS playing host to the Cowgirls of New Mexico Highlands. Josh Howe alongside Brandon Applehans. And Brandon, UCCS last night ended that tough one-game bump in the road, if you will, got back on track and impressive victory over Western New Mexico. Tonight they look to keep it rolling against a New Mexico Highlands team without their top scorer yet. They're playing some pretty good basketball. They gave CSU Pueblo all they could handle last night down in the Steel City.
You know, I'm really looking forward to these Mountain Lions coming out tonight. It is not blackout night, essentially, so hopefully the crowd can back them up. But we're looking forward to these Mountain Lions getting deep in their bench and really playing a great game against Highlands tonight.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. The Mountain Lions being introduced. And there is Brittany Hernandez, the sophomore forward, averaging 18 points. Leads the conference in rebounding, nearly 10 rebounds a game. And of course, Abby Kirchhoff, the leading scorer in the league at 20 points a game. Hernandez second in the RMAC in scoring. Rounding out the starting five, Gabby Ramirez, Tori Fisher back in the starting lineup tonight after a one-game absence. And Jessica Keenis gets a start. Sean Nelson, the head coach in his first season for the Highlands of New Mexico University. It is, or for the Cowgirls, I should say, of New Mexico Highlands. Jenny Johnson, Julia Simeone, Claudia Meneses, Brittany Brown, Michelle Tapia, and a head coach in her first season in Las Vegas, New Mexico, Brianna Finch. So UCCS comes in 17-3, 12-2 in conference play. The Cowgirls 4-14, 3-11. New Mexico Highlands in the road black, purple and white stripes. UCCS the home white. And a late arriving crowd tonight here at the Gallagly Event Center. Glad you could join us here. Game one of a doubleheader, the men to follow. UCCS tied for first in the RMAC. Heading into this one tonight, they have won 9 of the last 10. Tori Fisher will jump it up at center court against Claudia Meneses, and we are underway. Gabby Ramirez back into the starting lineup. She controls on the opening set for the Mountain Lions. There's Kirchhoff. Good ball fake. Defender goes by, and Abby Kirchhoff off and rolling here early on.
It's great to see Abby Kirchhoff get on to a good start tonight. Last night, 5 of 14, so kind of struggling a little bit.
And the rudder off the glass, Claudia Meneses. And New Mexico Highlands looking to pick up the slack with the absence of their leading scorer. Angelina Sanchez averages over 13 points a game. She is not on this road trip due to injury. Sanchez, the last time these two teams met, scored 24, and the loss for New Mexico Highlands. Here's Kirchhoff baseline, blocked, and that will go the Cowgirls' way. This Highlands team, a team that has struggled scoring the basketball, averaging just over 63.5 points per game. The Mountain Lions, a top scoring team at a conference at over 77.5. Margin of victory over 10.5, and just like that, New Mexico Highlands with the early lead.
I'm looking forward to Gabby Ramirez tonight. Was absent last night, and I think she brings a lot to the table, really getting the team involved. We'll see a lot of one-on-one basketball last night. I think she'll get the team involved and post-entry, so here we go.
Keenit's three ball. And Ramirez hustling for the loose ball. Rebound tracked down by Meneses, the leading rebounder for this Highlands team. Meneses, too much. And here's Jessica Keenitz racing across midcourt. Straight away Hernandez, no. Fisher keeps it alive. Well, you can just see the energy added to the floor with Hernandez, or rather with Ramirez back on the floor for UCCS. This Highlands team last night fell by 5. They led CSU Pueblo by 1 at the half. And short on the layup is Johnson. Highlands another opportunity. No. And good position by Keenitz. Here comes Kirkhoff. Numbers for the Mountain Line. Good feed to Fisher. And Torrey's in the books. We're tied at 4.
That's just some fundamental basketball right there. If you run the floor, the guard will pay off and give it to the big.
So all even early on. Torrey Fisher averages over 5 a game. And another answer, Claudia Meneses, a hot start for the Cowgirls. Meneses, the senior out of Las Vegas, Nevada, scoring 2 of the first 3 field goals for the Cowgirls. Single digits on the shot clock. Here's Hernandez, cut off baseline, still gets it to go. That 6-1 frame, she got over the top of the defender, and UCCS has evened it up early.
And that's just some good offensive mentality. I think she just put her shoulder down and went to the cup.
Hernandez willing herself to that basket. She is so athletic. 6'1" frame. Leads the conference in rebounds, second of the conference in scoring. And answering is Jenny Johnson. Now, so far, so good for New Mexico Highlands. Without their leading scorer, they're going toe-to-toe in the first 4 minutes of this game. Hernandez backs down, turnaround, no. Rebounding, one of the Achilles heels of this Cowgirls team. They're on the minus end this season. Kirkhoff, 2-on-1, Ramirez, and Gabby Ramirez makes it an 8-8 game.
Her presence is already being felt tonight, but I think these Mountain Lions got to hunker down on defense and really get some stops down there.
Transition game off the turnover. A lob pass, and Fisher in deep, turns and scores. That's easy. Well, taking advantage of the size mismatch inside, Torrey Fisher, a chance for her 5th point tonight. So foul charge to Michelle Tapia as substitutions tonight for the Mountain Lions. But before the free throw by Fisher, timeout on the floor. UCCS up by 1, 10-8 here early on in the opening half. Well, as we take a look at some of the numbers over the first 4+ minutes of this game, the Mountain Lions shooting 50% from the field. And 5 assists already. Abby Kirkhoff, an impressive assist to that bucket. Gabby Ramirez underneath. They're a different team with Fisher and Ramirez back in the lineup.
No, I think Mountain Lions are pretty deep in their bench. It is great to see Fisher out there as well as Ramirez, but I like the early substitution for Shannon Kelly and Shayna Leaf. I think Shannon Kelly brings a lot to this ball club, and Sean Nelson, it's great that he's getting those role players in early in the game.
Yeah, last night against Western New Mexico, we saw Anna Hubble in the game. We saw a number of new faces, and certainly it's going to prove valuable down the stretch in terms of key minutes as they head towards those crucial games in the postseason tournament. So three-point play, I should say, completed by Torrey Fisher. Largest lead here early on for the Mountain Lions, up by 3. 3-ball answer, no. And secured by Shayna Leaf. There's Keenitz, pull up 3. And look at Leaf, great position, and she drops a foul. So Shayna Leaf snags a rebound, averages just over 2 a game coming in, and coming into the game for the first time tonight is the redshirt freshman out of Simla, Kenzie Mitchell. You may know her as number 24. I think officially now she's number 30. She still has the impressive game she has shown all season long. The playing time continues to increase, so does her production. How about that? Step back, Abby Kirkhoff knocks it dead. The lead 5 now for UCCS.
You know, Josh, Abby Kirkhoff, I think she needs to patent that move, that little step back hesitation. I think that is all Kirkhoff right there.
So Abby with 4 quick points here in the opening 5.5 minutes. Late arriving crowd tonight, but still good showing on a snowy Saturday night in Colorado Springs. Leaf to Kirchhoff, Kelly, and UCCS in transition makes it a 7-point advantage.
You know, we talked about that, Josh, and I think both these UCCS teams are deadly in transition.
This Mountain Line team leads the conference in field goal percentage. Buckets like that, a big reason why. High percentage baskets, and that will go UCCS's way. So the Mountain Lions wrapping up a quick 2-game homestand tonight, and then they hit the road for 3 consecutive, a big one on the 7th at CSU Pueblo. There's Mitchell, left side, open look, Kirchhoff. Short, tipped out, there's Mitchell with the left hand. Trying to use the window and can't get it to fall. We've seen her go to that left hand several times over the course of the last 1+ days. Kelly the steal. Plenty of room, and Shannon Kelly makes it a 17-8 Mountain Line lead.
There's a left-hander that is, her presence is felt immediately when she comes in. I love her gameplay, and she gets after it on the defensive end, really hangs her hat there.
Straightaway 3, long iron, and a loose ball again going to the Mountain Lions. Here's Kelly across midcourt. UCCS has been a fast starting team, outscoring their opponents by 100 in the opening 20 minutes. And a forced turnover there. Good defense on the part of Jenny Johnson. And substitutions for UCCS. Back in comes Anna Hubble, sophomore out of Lafayette. And it's great to see the playing time increase. Hubble averages just under 6 minutes a game, and here she is early on for the 2nd consecutive night.
And had a good shooting performance last night. I think 100% is pretty good. 3 for 3 from the field, and you know, her time is also felt like Shannon Kelly's play.
Yeah, Hubble hit a couple of 3 balls. 85% field goal percentage. She'll take that. So the officials conferring, official near side conferring with assistant coach Thomas Poole.
Administrative technical foul has been assessed to New Mexico Highlands.
So a technical foul issued to the Highlands bench.
Abby Kirchhoff out of line, shooting 2.
An administrative technical foul. So clearly something with the scores book. As Abby Kirchhoff shooting free throws for the Mountain Lions, and the 89% free throw shooter makes her 94th free throw of the season. Kirchhoff hits them both. She's now at a half dozen. Just inside of 13 minutes to go here in the opening half. Josh Howe alongside Brandon Applehans. Glad you could join us. Game 1 of a doubleheader here tonight. UCCS and New Mexico Highlands, the men to follow at roughly 7:30 this evening. Brown straight away, poked away momentarily, and Highlands scrambling. The shot clock ticking down to 15 on the drive with the left hand. And drawing the foul is Michelle Tapia.
Foul call on number 30,
So Kenzie Mitchell picks up her first.
First team foul.
Number 1 for the Mountain Lions. Shooting foul, so Tapia, 59% free throw shooter with 2. A redshirt freshman out of Las Vegas, New Mexico, staying at home to play her collegiate basketball. This Highlands team shoots 69% from the line this season. And 1 for 2 on that trip for Tapia. The lead 10 now for UCCS. Green light for Kirchhoff. Long iron, and Kelly High in the air for that rebound. Quick entry pass. Leaf going to work. Doubled up, kick out, 3-ball, no. And a good job of the defensive glass by Michelle Tapia.
And got some good looks there, nothing to complain about that, but I think these Mountain Lions are sensing blood in the water and really picking up the defense. Like another turnover right there, I think that's great.
Meneses misfires, and another turnover for New Mexico Highlands. There's Kelly with that left-handed dribble. And travel by Hubble. So turnover for UCCS.
Now checking into the Cowgirls, number 32, Jenny Johnson.
Mountain Lions with 7 turnovers early on of this game.
Checking in for the Mountain Lions, number 35, Brittany Hernandez.
So Brittany Hernandez back out of the contest for UCCS. You have Hernandez, Leaf, Kirchhoff on the floor, along with Anna Hubble and Shannon Kelly, the 5, with just under 11 and a half to go in the opening 20 minutes here on a Saturday night in Colorado Springs. There's Martinez losing the basketball. Kirchhoff, great hustle. Back to Hernandez, here we go. A ball fake, Kirchhoff. And stripped away by Hart. She's in the open floor. And good defense by Hubble to get back. Highlands will have to set it up here inside of 11 to play.
And it looks like that 2-3 zone for New Mexico Highlands is kind of working right now, getting a couple turnovers for these Mountain Lions. I think the New Mexico Highlands back in this game, but you got to watch these turnovers.
Number 4 now for New Mexico Highlands, a substitution for the Cowgirls. Julia Simeone, a sophomore out of Zurich, Switzerland. Well, you talk about a contrast in scenery. Switzerland to Las Vegas, New Mexico. She probably thought, where in the world have I ended up? But certainly she's getting the playing time in the starting lineup tonight, and work cut out for Simeone and company as they trail by 10. Just under 10 and a half to play here. 5 on the shot clock. Hubble inside. Leaf turns. Good pass. Hernandez fouled with 2 on the shot clock.
And that's just great patience by the Mountain Lions getting that last shot. And I think this team is pretty veteran right now, that they don't panic when the shot clock gets pretty low, because they know that if they stick with it, no ball club wants to play defense for 30 seconds.
Hernandez, a 76% free throw shooter, hits for the 84th time this season. Well, you look at the numbers of Kirchhoff and Hernandez, they have combined for over 200 free throw attempts this season. And a 1 of 2 on that trip for the sophomore out of Air Academy High School. And look at her pressure the ball coming across midcourt. Johnson take with the right hand, off the window, too much. Hernandez secures yet another rebound. Hernandez strong here in the early going for the Mountain Lions. That's her second rebound. Patience by this UCCS offense, and a long 3. Kirchhoff connects from downtown, and the lead grows to 23-9.
And that's just flat out home court advantage there. I know she practices that shot plenty of times in practice. Made it look easy out there.
Taken away by Kirchhoff, getting it done on both ends. Here's Hubble in the open floor, up ahead to Kelly. 2 free throws coming up for the junior out of Pine Creek High School.
Personal foul, 4th team foul.
So Shannon Kelly, a 68% free throw shooters, a pair coming up after the timeout. Break on the floor, the Mountain Lions in control here midway through the opening half. Well, Brandon, you take a look at some of the numbers Through 10-plus minutes of this contest, the Mountain Lions shooting at a great clip, over 47% from the field. They're hitting their free throws at 80%. A well-rounded performance so far for a Mountain Lion team that for the second consecutive night have shown a lot of balance. Last night, of course, they had 10 players score, 4 in double figures, and we're seeing that more and more in terms of the depth and the ability of many different players to contribute on this team.
I think in the RMAC and even in Division II basketball, that double-header is one of the toughest things for even incoming freshmen and veteran players. So I think this team is great how deep they are in the bench, and it'll pay off for them in, hopefully in the playoffs. 5
different players have scored to this point for the Mountain Lions. Abby Kirchhoff leads the way with 9. Tori Fisher with 5. Shannon Kelly with 4. Chance for 6 here. A pair of free throws coming up for the junior. Kelly averages just over 3 points a game, but certainly that number's deceptive. She's much more of a scoring threat than the numbers would indicate. 1 for 2 on that trip, so she's at 5 for the night. Cowgirls the other way, down by 15, and they turn it over yet again. So New Mexico Highlands on the giveaway, and for the Cowgirls, it's their 4th turnover of the night. Hubble straight away, looks for Kirchhoff. We tick inside of 9 minutes, single digits on the shot clock. Off the pick, step back again for Kirchhoff, no. There's Leaf, and they're gonna call a push off underneath. But it looks like Shannon Leaf charged with a personal foul, but you love the energy that this sophomore out of Palmer High School brings to the interior for UCCS.
And it looks like UCCS, maybe Abby Kirchhoff in general, has shot them out of the 2-3 zone now in a man defense against the Mountain Lions. These Mountain Lions look like they want to come out and press. I know Sean Nelson wants that lead even higher.
Pull up with the left hand, short by Tapia. Hernandez swatted away, and UCCS controls it here. 8:27 to go in the opening half. So the Mountain Lions tied for first place coming into this one tonight, tied with Colorado Mesa at 12-2 in the RMAC standings. And then CSU Pueblo and Colorado Christian right behind them. A tie for 3rd, and Brittany Hernandez showing the all-around game. Well defended. Kelly now. And you love the aggressiveness. They come up with the turnover, and the pedals to the floor for this UCCS offense.
And not so much a sloppy game for the Cowgirls, but great defense for the Mountain Lions. I think a little careless on their part, but the Mountain Lions, I think they're trying to win on that side of the floor.
Kelly, Leaf off to Kelly, and short iron, rebound, Hernandez up and in. Brittany Hernandez cleaning up the mess, and she drops in her 5th point of the night. Free ball, answer, no. Hubble all alone for the rebound. And a whistle inside, and we're gonna get a push in the back, and certainly Michelle Tapia with her hands full tonight against Brittany Hernandez. Gonna be a tough matchup in the post for the freshman out of Las Vegas. So substitutions for the Mountain Lions. In comes Tori Fisher, along with Jessica Keenan. So you've got Hernandez and Fisher, the post players down low. Kirchhoff, Keenan's up top, along with Gabby Ramirez.
It looks like if these Cowgirls want to remain in this ball game, they have to do something pretty quick because UCCS jumping out to a almost 20-point lead.
And you blink and this game has suddenly gotten out of hand early on. Highlands was right there going stride for stride. But again, the Cowgirls without their leading scorer, Angelina Sanchez, still back in Las Vegas due to injury, did not make this road trip. There's Ramirez up the floor. Keenitz left side, hard of the hole with the left hand. No. Fisher can't secure the rebound. Great look, unable to finish. Cowgirls the other way. Manassas with another bucket.
And Josh, if there could ever be a quiet 28 points, the Mountain Lions have done that. Looked up at the score and they jumped out to an early lead.
UCCS shooting 45% from the field. Fisher, big time rebound, swatted away inside. Simeone will push. Straight away three, got it. Brittany Brown, the junior out of Norco, California. And just like that, the lead cut to 14. It was at 19, a 5-0 run here for the Cowgirls. Inside of 6 minutes to play. Keenitz, great ball fake and drops it off for Fisher, extra pass. Ramirez open baseline, Fisher all alone. Up strong, got it to go. Great movement on the offensive end by UCCS. We tick towards 5 minutes remaining here in the opening half. 16-point Mountain Lion lead and a foul, offensive foul on New Mexico Highlands. And that's going against Emma Hart. And substitution for the first time tonight for UCCS, Kelly Kruger back in. And boy, the big bodies just keep coming. No let up for this Highlands defense as now Kruger enters the game. And when we talk about numbers being deceptive, certainly that's the case with Kelly Kruger as Abby Kirchhoff drops her second triple of the night. She's in double figures.
And there's that under the screen defense. I think this ball club needs to get over that screen because Abby Kirchhoff, her range is when she walks in the building.
12 points on the night for Kirchhoff, 2 of 4 from downtown. The conference's leading scorer. Too much. Backside rebound secured by Hart. 6 to shoot for the Cowgirls. High arcing three, no. And once again, nobody home on the board for the Cowgirls. Keenitz pushes. Kirchhoff's got the hot hand, leaves it short. And Abby gets a hand on it, will go the other way. Numbers 4 on 3. And there's that baseline touch from a senior in Wilsonville, Oregon, Kelly Kruger. Timeout on the floor. Just like that, the Mountain Lions have pushed the lead to 21. It can happen in a hurry. We had mentioned it was 28 to 14. Highlands had gone on a 5-0 run, but UCCS answering with an emphatic run of their own and suddenly have broken this game open. 21-point advantage here late in the first. Nice look at the crowd tonight. Good to see him back here for the second straight night. Tough to come out in the conditions tonight, but boy, you see the energy, the basketball IQ really growing amongst the students here at UCCS. You know, when these two teams, these two programs, the men's and the women's program, really started to turn the corner, you could see the enthusiasm, the excitement build on campus, but really they have shown up night in and night out. And it's great to see the support out of the students here at UCCS.
And you know, it's great seeing them go the extra mile, getting the heads that they print out, getting the signs. It's great to see here in Gallagher.
There's a look at first-year head coach Brianna Finch by way of Lemvig Basketball Club in Denmark. Part of that was at Salt Lake Community College, played her collegiate ball, Portland State, Sonoma State, so familiar with collegiate basketball, the western part of the United States. And UCCS out of the timeout to take away. Keenitz, no. You got Ramirez, Keenitz, Kirchhoff, Kelly Kruger, and Tori Fisher on the floor with 3:48 to go here in the opening half. Full court pressure, and that will stay Highlands basketball.
And UCCS not content with this 21-point lead, trying to get this pressure to rile these Cowgirls.
Well, they recall the last time these two teams played back on December the 19th in Las Vegas. Highlands was a close game. UCCS won 84-81, but of course that was with the leading scorer for New Mexico Highlands, Angelina Sanchez, in the game. Sanchez scored 24, and certainly it's an uphill battle without number 15 in the lineup tonight for Highlands. Stoppage in play here as the officials confer the officials tonight. Ted Neiman, Michaela Fox, and Rachel Martinez. So pressure to backcourt for the Mountain Lions. Just under 3-footer to go. Commanding lead for UCCS, up by 21, and suddenly this game has gotten choppy.
I don't know if these Cowgirls realize, but the shot clock is only at 13 seconds right now. They got to be quick.
And pull up, leaner, no, but going to the free throw line is Jenny Johnson. So Johnson, a senior guard out of Oregon, at the line here for the first time tonight. When you talk about free throws being a key statistic for New Mexico Highlands, they certainly were last night. They lost to CSU Pueblo by 5, but they were 0 for 1 from the free throw line. A total of 1 free throw attempted, and CSU Pueblo was 11 of 23. That was the game.
And, you know, free throws so crucial even for shooters in general, because when you see that ball go in the hole, you know, you get your confidence back, you get your shooter's rhythm. I think it's key to get to the free throw line and see that go in.
So Highlands connects. They're now 3 of 4 from the line tonight. 35-16 our score. Mitchell back into the game, down low to Kruger. And we're going to get, if it was a traveling violation or not. Nonetheless, turnover for UCCS. Highlands pushes. Good spin move with the left hand, and traveling the call. One too many steps for Kylie Ribel. A freshman guard out of Phoenix will cover the basketball as Ramirez brings it up. Fisher off the entry pass. Doubled up, little fall away, and height advantage paying off.
And Tori Fisher getting on the stat sheet early. I love her play, and I love what the Mountain Lions are doing here, wanting that big lead to go into halftime. And we all know UCCS is a second half team, so we're looking forward to that second half.
Tori Fisher with 9 points and another 3-point field goal. Jenny Johnson from long range. Johnson with 7 points on the night now. 1 of 3 from downtown off the ball fake. Mitchell, just over 2 minutes to play. There's Fisher calling for it again. She's doubled up. Good luck. Mitchell off the pick from Kruger. Open look, Mitchell, 3-ball, no. And good position under the rebound for Brittany Brown. Lead at 18 for UCCS, 1:44 to go. 3 ball, no. And there's Kruger. Held ball, and it will stay Highlands basketball.
Now checking in for the Cowgirls.
Juliana Simeone in for the Cowgirls here for the final 1:39 of this opening half. Mitchell guards the ball and skip pass there. Simeone on the floor with the right hand, scoop it up, too much. Backside rebound, no. Second effort, and Emma Hart, free throws coming up for the senior out of Los Lunas, New Mexico.
And I think this last minute 21 is pretty key for both ball clubs. We'll see how both teams go into the half. If UCCS tries to get this lead over 20, or if these Cowgirls can make a run and go into halftime with something to talk about.
So Hardy, 77% free throw shooter, cuts it to 17 as Brittany Hernandez spells Tori Fisher with 1:21 to go in the opening half. And Hart, 50% on that trip. Here's Ramirez. Open look, 3 ball, no by Patterson, but a put back inside. Kelly Kruger, another bucket, and the lead pushed back to 19 with 1 minute to go. Partially blocked. Looked like Hernandez got a piece of that ball. The conference leader in blocked shots coming into this weekend. Averages just over 2 a game. Simeone up ahead, 2-on-1, no. But a late whistle and a foul going to be charged to Gabby Ramirez.
And you know, Josh, I was crunching some numbers as we get ready for the men's game here, and I saw that Brittany Hernandez actually has more blocks than Derek White, 2 players that love to block shots. Brittany Hernandez, 1 at the craft. She is very good at timing, great timing, and just impeccable at that.
Hernandez, 2.2 blocks per game coming in. Leads the RMAC in that category. Is also the RMAC leader in rebounds per game. She has been an all-around force, and what a find for Sean Nelson. 3 ball, Ramirez rattles in and out. Hernandez takeaway, and she'll go to the free throw line. Brittany Hernandez, persistence paying off. Free throws for the sophomore here with 25 seconds to go in the opening half. Hernandez looking to add her 7 points in the opening half. At the free throw line for the second time tonight, she's now 2 of 3. 76% free throw shooter. And now 50% tonight. Final 20 seconds of the half. Manassas into the front court. Simeone will set it up. Single digits on the game clock. Entry pass. Simeone tied up. Held ball. Possession arrow, UCCS. They got a chance to get off a good play here with 3.8 on the clock.
That 20-point lead is getting closer and closer to see if they can get this bucket.
And Mitchell throws it up, and no good, but UCCS an impressive opening 20 minutes against New Mexico Highlands. It's been all Mountain Lions. They lead by 19 at the half. We'll step aside and come back, get you ready for half number 2, some statistics, and a look at the final 20 minutes of regulation here at the Callicley Event Center.
Division II, I feel like I fit in the best.
It's not too small, not too big.
When I came here, I felt like I was special.
It's like home to me. It's a family, community environment.
I like the small town atmosphere, more family-like, everybody knows everybody.
You know, a campus like this is like a town square.
I walk away with a lot of life lessons, you know, learning to grow up.
We really feel like we're preparing the kids for what they're going to see beyond college.
It's the one-on-one interaction you get from faculty, from students.
The best part of my D2 experience has to be being able and given the privilege to play and do something that I love while getting an education.
I got a great opportunity and I didn't want to pass it up.
We're here to educate and build a character, and the Division II program we have is perfect for where we are.
Division II, to me, is a perfect model for life. Our kids still have to earn their way. You know, they're not on full rides. And that certainly models what happens in the real world. You go out and you start at the bottom of the totem pole, and if you work real hard and there's a promotion to be had, you put yourself in position to get that promotion. I think our student athletes are so much more ready to be successful.
I chose D2 because it just felt you were more of a person instead of just a performer for your sport.
I really wanted a large university, but I didn't want to feel lost in it.
Coming out of high school, I was offered scholarships to UCLA, Notre Dame, but I didn't like the big class setting. I'm a more one-on-one person. I learn better that way.
Student athletes should have the opportunity to not only excel in the classroom, but should be able to go out and take advantage of the things outside of the classroom that kind of round out your academics.
Being an athlete definitely works on your time management skills. It forces you to use your time wisely and efficiently.
The balance of athletics and academics makes for a rich experience for all students. They're in music programs, they're in social programs, and I think that that creates an environment that makes going to college fun, which is what you really want.
It's a pride issue for us in the athletic department because not only are we talking about balance, but when we look at the academic side, our student athletes actually have a higher GPA than the general student population.
I'm an educator, and I believe it's my job to use the game as a vehicle to help develop life skills for student athletes. These kids are very good at baseball, but they also have aspirations to go on and be leaders in their community, and I believe I have a responsibility to help them prepare for that.
I try to mentor the kids or let them see as a role model how important balance is in my life. I'm not only a head coach, a working woman with a full-time job, I have a husband, I have 2 kids. So I try to mirror that in my life so that they can understand, because a lot of these young women are going to be me in 5 or 10 years.
My coach, when she first approached me, she was really interested to know about my personality, not just softball. She was more concerned about me as a person rather than me, Brittany Carino, as an athlete.
A Division II program offers a smaller school, which provides for more community. The athletes know each other, the non-athletes know the athletes. It's more of a system that links together.
Over the years, as we've seen the success of our athletic teams, you really see how our non-athletes have become more involved, whether it be participating at a game, cheering on students, and it's just overall has added to the environment, the spirit on campus.
Our athletes know each other. There's enough community within the confines of our campus that our student athletes really do support one another.
We have a mission, which is education for service, and we believe that a service opportunity, the outreach to the community, is part of the educational experience here. And so we attract students who like that, athletes and non-athletes, and we encourage it with our athletic teams.
We use our athletes to showcase our intellectual resources at the university. Yes, they're a part of a team, but they also go to schools and they read to children in schools. They also are in community events. They also are involved in civic activities.
We do have a lot of community interaction. I know it's very important for us to show up and work camps and work with the little kids. We're very visible to the community, and it's kind of our obligation to make sure we give back to the fans that support us.
We've done Habitat for Humanity, or we help build houses, and just to see those people, you know, the look on their faces when they receive the house, it really touches you.
The philosophy here is that you want to embrace the community as more than just the place where you go to school, but the place where you live.
We want students to have a full range of experiences that's going to prepare them for, the workforce later on, and to be good contributing citizens in the communities they live in.
My major is psychology. I plan to join the military as an officer. I'm also in ROTC. So I plan to use psychology to counsel those who've been to Iraq and those who are coming home, and also their family members.
We work hand in hand with the university, trying to make sure that we're providing the right opportunities just for the day-to-day life of the students. And then we work very hard of trying to create opportunities in the business world. Maybe they can stay here and locate in our community, become a part of our community.
Any company that is looking for really good, talented people and good values in those people, the D2 schools are extraordinarily good places to mine for that talent.
What we do in D2 athletics is a real spirit of competition, real spirit of athletics.
I've played soccer since I was 4 years old, and that's like my inspiration in life, so I really wanted to go somewhere where I could be happy, and the person that I am, I'm very competitive, so I wanted to go somewhere where I could win.
We come in here every day, not with the mindset that we're going to lose. We come in here with the mindset that we're going to win in every game that we play. And that's, I think, crucial in life, because you can't do anything if you don't have the right mindset.
I've actually made a mark on UCSD, and that I'm actually someone that UCSD will remember.
This school has really advocated, values of moral strength and integrity. They have really offered me a closer look at who I am. With the smaller school, everyone knows what you're doing and who you're with, and as a role model, people see you for who you really are. So I think the positive peer pressure only pushes people to be greater, to be more than they can be.
This institution would be a place where I would send my children. The Division II philosophy on education and athletics is what I firmly believe in. When I see student athletes, I see genuinely a student athlete.
When you look at the way a young person lives his or her life day to day on a campus, you don't want it to be totally immersed in athletics or totally immersed in anything else, because it's a growing up time. Going from 18 to 22 isn't easy, and so we, I think, provide in D2 schools a very rich environment supporting all of the things they want to do.
My name's Corey Hirokawa.
Mario Guerrero.
I'm Brian Maloney.
I'm on the women's soccer team.
And I chose D2.
And I chose D2.
And I chose D2 track.
I'm Brittany Carino.
My name is Henry Patterson.
I play softball.
I'm a sophomore majoring in political science.
And I chose Division II.
And I chose Division II.
My name's Hillary Hansen.
Sebastian Moore.
Denise Terrera.
And I chose D2.
I chose D2.
My name's Eileen Patton.
I'm a psychology major.
Biochemistry and Spanish.
Elementary education major.
I'm a political science and critical gender studies major.
I'm a volleyball player.
Football, basketball player.
I play basketball and volleyball. And I chose D2.
I chose D2.
D2.
I chose Division II.
I chose D2.
I chose D2.
I chose D2.
Yes!
Okay.
Josh Howe, Brandon Applehans back here courtside as we get ready to start half number 2 here at the Gallagher Event Center. The Mountain Lions with a 19-point lead over New Mexico Highlands University. And Brandon, you take a look at some of the numbers from the opening 20 minutes. A couple of statistics really jump out. Turnovers, 16 for New Mexico Highlands and 19 Mountain Lion points off those 16 turnovers.
And you're not going to win a lot of ball games with 16 turnovers at the half. I think the Mountain Lions are doing a great job of really getting into the opposing team, and they're doing a great job, and the score shows it.
So 40-21 our score as we get ready to start half number 2. Abby Kirchhoff will start the second half for the Mountain Lions. The conference's leading scorer with 12 points in this one. Tori Fisher with 9. Brittany Hernandez has 8 along with 4 rebounds. And rebounding, something that UCCS has done so well this entire season. They lead the conference in offensive rebounds and certainly doing that again here tonight. 9 offensive rebounds, 9 of the 23 have come on the offensive side. So ready to start half number 2. Highlands and the Road Black are going to go from left to right on your screen. Some of the scores here at the half in the RMAC, some good games elsewhere in the conference. Colorado Christian leading Colorado Mesa at the half, 39-38. Mesa, of course, tied with UCCS for first place in the conference. And then Colorado State Pueblo in a two-way tie for third, currently knotted up at 21 with Western State at the half. We'll certainly keep you posted on those scores as they develop. So Gabby Ramirez and company to start the second half for the Mountain Lions, a 19-point lead. There's Keenitz off to Ramirez. Now Fisher, fall away, got it. Tori Fisher is in double figures. Fisher now with 11 points tonight. The lead pushed to 21 for UCCS. Largest lead of the night, and answer no. And look at Ramirez, chase down the rebound. Keenitz, right side runner, high off the glass. Jessica Keenitz in the open floor. She's got her first 2 of the night. Timeout on the floor. Just like that, the lead pushed to 23 for UCCS. And Brandon, they can make it happen so quickly.
And you know, it was always a contest when you play Division II basketball that whoever calls the timeout first in the second half is in trouble. And I think that's a great mentality to have for UCCS, coming out a strong first couple seconds.
So a 4-0 run to start this second half for UCCS is Fisher, Hernandez, Ramirez, Kirchhoff, and Keenitz back on the floor. The men await men's game to follow at roughly 7:30 here tonight. Jeff Culver's team coming off an impressive victory where they shot the lights out last night against Western New Mexico. Fall away, no. Travel, the call on Claudia Meneses. That's turnover number 17 for New Mexico Highlands. Again, 19 points off 16 turnovers in the first half for UCCS. That's certainly the key statistics and the statistic, I should say, in the opening 20 minutes. High post, Hernandez bumped from behind. Hard of the hole, and then right of the awaiting arms of Brittany Brown. Tough shot, no. Hernandez, good position for the rebound. She always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
She does a lot of great pre-work, you know, to get situated and get a good position.
Fisher's got 13, the hot hand tonight for UCCS. Fisher now 6 of 7 from the field. Just over 2 minutes to go, a 25-point lead for the Mountain Lions. Circle back to that meeting back in Las Vegas on December the 19th, 84-81 the final. UCCS escaping with the win, but again, Angelita Sanchez, the leading scorer, in the lineup for New Mexico Highlands back in December. Tonight, she's absent back home in Las Vegas due to injury, and certainly it's a different Cowgirl team without the presence of number 15. Fisher fielding it. Can't hit the long ball. Ramirez fires it up. No. One of the things we talked about off camera, three-point shooting certainly not one of the strengths in the first half as Meneses hits inside. UCCS just 2 of 14 from downtown in the opening 20 minutes.
In these first 5 minutes, it's really going to see what Highlands goes to, because there's a big time and it's a chance to make a run.
Hernandez, great position, doesn't get the putback. And Kienitz runs down the rebound. There's that offensive rebounding statistic again coming up big for UCCS. There are no easy looks for Brittany Hernandez. 2-3 defenders always around number 35.
And it's kind of like football that when she has single coverage, it's a bucket for Brittany Hernandez. So they're bringing 2 and honestly 3 on that play.
Right corner for Ramirez. Hernandez. Inside out, skip pass. Quick pass inside to Fisher. That left shoulder turn, no. And that'll stay Mountain Line basketball. Good look, though, for the sophomore out of Greeley. Not many teams have the athleticism in the post of UCCS as Ramirez cashes in from downtown. Gabby Ramirez, her first triple of the night. And UCCS blowing this open to their second half, a 26-point advantage. Simeone, no. And there's Ramirez. There's the one-on-one. Hernandez, good feed to Fisher. Big man to big man in a big-time lead for the Mountain Lions. The lead at 28 here, just over 4 minutes into their second half. All smiles and a stare at the scoreboard if you're New Mexico Highlands. Not much if you're head coach Brianna Finch, you can say at this point. Just outmatched here talent-wise tonight.
And I think UCCS, coming in with that 77.7 points per game, they're on pace to make their record. But I think the key thing here is 23 points for New Mexico Highlands. That's great defense by UCCS.
Sean Nelson, his first season in Colorado Springs, of course, by way of Division II Central Washington. Carroll College prior to that. We talked about his impressive resume last night. 195 wins in 8 seasons. The youngest coach in Frontier history to 100 wins. Fastest coach as well. And he has done a tremendous job. Season number 1 in Colorado Springs. This team's 17-3 coming into tonight and well on their way to their 18th win and perhaps sole possession of first place. We'll see how the matchup with Mesa and Colorado Christian turns out tonight, but Christian currently tied for third in the conference standings, a slim lead at the half. Out of the timeout. 28-point deficit for Jenny Johnson and the Mexico Highland Cowgirls. Johnson, 3-ball, no. And put back, Foul from behind by Kirchhoff, so Emma Hart draws the foul. Kirchhoff, number 1 for the senior out of Barrington, Illinois. 3-ball, no. Kirchhoff pushing the pace. Ramirez up ahead. Floats it up to Hernandez. Great ball movement. Turn, no. And Fisher there. So many offensive opportunities for UCCS. Another one, and Kirchhoff can't finish. Touch after touch. You can see why they lead the conference in offensive rebounding.
In these Mountain Lions, the eyes are lighting up right now. They see the weak point in New Mexico Highlands, and I think they're having fun out there. That's what it looks like.
All smiles right now for UCCS, and why not? 28-point advantage on top of the conference standings, and another turnover for the Cowgirls. That has plagued Highlands here tonight.
Number 33, Shayna Lee. Hey, Shayna, man up, let's do this. And number 5, Shannon Kelly.
15 turnovers for Highlands, and that is not right. The official score had 16 at the half. The computer says 15, so I'll have to figure out is what's going on. One thing we are certain of, it's been a dominating performance by UCCS here with 14:30 to go, 28-point advantage. Ramirez open look straight away, no. And foul called on Shayna Leaf, and look at this. Pushing going on. And we've got players flying all over the floor, punches thrown, and look out, bench is clear. And the Gallegly Event Center out of control. And I'll tell you, Brandon, that started with Michelle Tapia, number 42, started it. And both players going at it here.
You know, Josh, luckily no one was hurt in that play, but you got to wonder what are the repercussions of your actions of this game. You do not want to be suspended.
And Shayna Leaf was pushed by Tapia, but of course, you can't retaliate. I don't care what bench you're on. You cannot leave the bench, and no doubt, we saw suspensions at the end of the Chadron State game for just a handshake by Tori Fisher and Gabby Ramirez, and you better believe that the RMAC will levy some suspensions after this fight.
And, you know, it's a tough position, like you said, Josh, because you want to protect your teammates, but, you know, there's a critical point for UCCS, and, you know, a suspension would hurt if it's a Brittany Hernandez. Or I did see Abby Kirchhoff, you know, walk off the to the bench, you know, that veteran move, but hopefully nothing will be issued out here.
And head coach Sean Nelson obviously ticked off, and he's talking to the ref here and clearly not happy that the officials let it get to that point. But that aside, as a player, you cannot let your emotions get the best of you. And it happened for Tapia, and it looked like Hernandez was involved. We don't have the replay here, but clearly both teams were at fault. But I think it was obvious that Tapia stirred it up, and it just snowballed from there.
And I think it's tough because, you know, you want to protect your players, and I think the refs did a good job of, you know, seeing it come, but I think it was tough. You got to wrap your players up and really, you know, tell them what the repercussions of this might happen.
And it was good to see Sean Nelson got out there and grabbed his player.
Right.
And obviously he was heated at the time. You can see the chancellor there. UCCS looking on. And a black eye for both these teams right now. UCCS is playing a dominant game, and I think that's one of the reasons that led to this blow up for New Mexico Highlands, if you will, is they're frustrated, they're on the losing end, and Tapia just had enough, and again, just let her emotions get the best of her. They're going to go back and look, I believe, at the video here. You have the officials at the scores table going back to look at the video. Obviously, this is an internet broadcast, and they're able to go back and kind of look and see how this played out.
And, you know, nothing you want to see. You want to see a good, clean game. But, you know, it was getting a little heated, though, because here in Blackout Weekend, UCCS going to work on the scoreboard, and Highlands just struggling from the field, and I think those emotions got the best of them.
The teammates, both teams huddled around, and you can see the men's team looking on. They play at the conclusion of this one, but still, we got a long ways to go, 14:24 to go. And they're still trying to sort it out, the officials tonight. You see Shayna Leaf looking on as Sean Nelson having a few words with the sophomore. Uncharted waters, no doubt, for UCCS, and boy, for Sean Nelson, you know, you just get Fisher and Ramirez back from suspension tonight, and it looks like they very likely will be without the services, I would guess. Haven't seen the replay, but it looked like Hernandez was involved to some degree, and that would be a huge blow. The second leading scorer in the conference, the leading rebounder in the conference, leading shot blocker. She means so much, and you know, we'll have to wait and see just how everything shakes out, but right now it does not look good.
You know, back in my days of you know, playing college hoops, you know, this is what we called a setup game. You know, UCCS coming in at 17-3, and New Mexico Highlands at 4-14. So it's a win on the scoreboard right now, but coming away from this game, I think they're with, you know, we saw the disciplinary actions with Ramirez and Fisher. So I think tonight is going to be some serious disciplinary.
Well, the officials are over here at the scoreboard, or the scores table. Still, it appears to be looking at the video. The officiating crew tonight, Ted Neiman, Michaela Fox, and Rachel Martinez. We'll have to see if we can get a shot here at the scores table of our officiating crew, so viewers at home can kind of take a peek at look and see what's holding up this game. Is obviously one more to follow after this. But again, in case you've just joined us, a fight broke out on the floor here with around 15 minutes to go in the second half. It appeared that Michelle Tapia threw a punch for New Mexico Highlands, and the play started. Shayna Leaf, it looked like she got fouled inside, and out of nowhere, Tapia came in, threw a punch, and you can see there official Ted Neiman and Michaela Fox, Rachel Martinez. I believe they were able to go back and look at the video, and now you would have to believe there's going to be some game ejections and no doubt some suspensions from this one.
Yeah, you know, I did, thinking back on it, I did see a lot of pushing, and I did see, so like there was one part of the fight and it got broken up, and then I think Tapia came out of the, one of her players tried to wrap her up, and I think I did see a punch, so that could be crucial here.
And I believe that we do not have the ability to play that back on the truck, obviously. If we do, our crew in the truck will try to replay kind of the events that unfolded here, but certainly this is going to play out past tonight here on the RMAC. This is major news, and we'll see just in terms of how this is going to impact the starting lineup for UCCS here going forward. You can see there a look at Michaela Fox, Rachel Martinez, Ted Neiman, and they want to get this right, and it's good that they're taking their time. Sean Nelson, I couldn't believe it, and as a coach, he got out there as quick as he could. I mean, the events unfolded so quick. I mean, you had Shayna Leaf going out there, was pushing. Next thing you know, a punch was thrown and the bench is cleared. And it happened in a hurry.
And Nelson just hoping for the best outcome here. I think it looks like the refs have left the video board, so they might have come to a conclusion. So we will see what goes down here.
See head coach Brianna Finch, not the way she envisioned this first season unfolding here in Colorado Springs. And Michaela Fox explaining to both coaches Have to believe there are going to be game ejections, technical fouls. Tough to see. I mean, this has been, you know, college basketball. This is a great conference, and it's going to be a black eye, but I don't think this is an indication at all of either one of these two programs. I think it was just a case of, you know, New Mexico Highlands, they've been getting blown out. There's still a lot of time left. They're without their leading scorer, and Tapia just was running hot. She's a redshirt freshman, and clearly let her emotions get the best of her.
And, you know, one thing we forget is that there's still 14-24 left in this ball game that, you know, both clubs need to come out and finish this game. So we'll see what the call is and if this team can, you know, rile back. And because it's a swing of emotions here.
See athletic director Stephen Kirkham there with security at UCCS on the floor. They hustled out to try to keep this from blowing up even further. They did a good job getting both sides under control. I'll tell you, when New Mexico Highlands came off the bench, I thought this could get ugly in a hurry.
You know, it was like that hockey scenario. The bench is clear. You know, you don't want to see anything like that, but I am glad the officials jumped in, and even some of the police here.
See the assistants for UCCS. And both teams have had plenty of time to cool down, and we're here right next to the Mountain Line bench. And looks like Hernandez and Shayna Leaf, everybody has the emotions under control, as does New Mexico Highlands.
And, you know, it's too bad, Josh, that, you know, went from smiles and winning to potentially some ejections here.
Absolutely. And Highlands has played hard. There's no doubt, but you cannot let your emotions get the best of you.
All the fans on the edge of their seats trying to see what this call is. You know, no reaction from Sean Nelson, so we'll see if he's happy or not.
Well, and I think he has to have an idea what's coming. They looked at the video, and that says it all. And even without a replay, we were able to kind of recall what happened here, and clearly Tapia started it. And, you know, there were a lot of people in front of us when the melee kind of ensued, so we're not able to see who was involved, who pulled who punched who, but they are sorting that out right now. See the assistant for New Mexico Highlands, Thomas Poole, talking to his players on the bench. Again, this game halted due to a bench clearing, I don't know if we'll call it a brawl, but certainly a fight. You can see there up on the scoreboard of the background, 14-24 remaining here in the second half.
And, you know, Josh, you also got to wonder what point production will come from these fouls. I know when a bench clears, I think it might even be a technical per player, so we'll see how many free throws are awarded. It could be a astounding number right now, but no reaction from Coach Nelson.
So we see Coach Nelson walking back, and I believe he's going to talk to Brittany Hernandez, and she has been ejected from this game. Getting applause from the fans, and we'll have to see for New Mexico Highlands. I believe that Michelle Tapia will be ejected as well.
Yeah, you know, you'd think that she would be.
And at least right now, she's still on the floor. And we'll wait to draw conclusions here, but I would be stunned because we saw it with our own eyes. She landed the first punch.
You know, I'm as shocked as you are, Josh. I think that I think it even started with her, and I think it's what it boils down to, really. I know it's the second person always gets caught, and we talk about that, but you know, we got to think that she might be ejected as well.
Now the question is, how long will this suspension be for Brittany Hernandez? Obviously, it will. You would assume it's going to be in place after tonight. Coming up, they've got CSU Pueblo, which is a huge game. And then they've got Shattern and Black Hills State, I believe, a series. Or check that, they've got Adams State and Fort Lewis. Adams State at the bottom, Fort Lewis, always a tough team. And you can see Michelle Tapia there, number 42. And obviously, I don't think this is an indictment on, this is a horrible player in Hernandez and Tapia. Again, emotions run hot. You do dumb things, and that was the situation here.
I think so, and we'll see, the refs, obviously, with the ejection of Brittany Hernandez, not seeing a lot of penalties for the Cowgirls right now. Hopefully, we get this straightened out here, but I'm not seeing any ejections here. I think Tapia, still on the floor.
This is going to take some time.
And, like we talked about, Josh, I think this is a, what comes after this game. The game, out of reach for the Cowgirls unless a dramatic comeback. But you got these 2 road trips, a Colorado Springs rival in Pueblo, and then you got Adams State and Fort Lewis.
Absolutely. So a lot to play out here. They're still sorting this out. 51-23, and there is an ejection, 2 players for New Mexico Highlands. You don't want to hear cheers for that. I mean, it clearly was a black eye for this conference, a black eye for both teams. Tapia's been ejected. I did not see the other player who was ejected.
And it actually looked like a player on the bench still had the warm-up on. I don't know if she was in the game, as we see a lot of numbers out there right now.
And we're going to see if we can get an official number here as far as the ejection goes on the second player for Highlands. And this has been a delay. Don't have the official time, but it's been probably close to, 30 minutes, 15.
Yeah, and this game normally concludes at 7 o'clock. Gives the men a half an hour or close to come back on and get the warm-up. But it seems like this game, 14 minutes still left, a little over 14, obviously, with timeouts and game of play. But this is halting the Mountain Lions for game number 2. But what I did see, Josh, is that Trayshawn Wilford of the men's team is suited up and game ready. We'll see if he's a game-time decision.
Absolutely. He's had that concussion he's been battling since a season ago, and it would be good to see him back out on the floor here tonight. You can see UCCS trying to gather themselves and just refocus and finish out the final 14-24 of this game. Well, and now we've got a 3rd ejection, and a 4th, and a 5th, and a 6th, and a 7th. Unbelievable. And I think those players were ejected because they left the bench.
And that can rile a lot. It was great that UCCS stayed on the bench. Abby Kirchhoff came over to the bench, and some veteran moves there by UCCS, and just some lost emotions there by Highlands. And like you said, look, they only got 5 players left, so we'll see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, and you would think they're just going to run and basically run out the clock. They're not going to Obviously, they have to score, work the shot clock, but right now, it's just a bad scene for this conference, a great conference. And hopefully it's a minor bump in the road. And we're going to get back to action. It looks like his head coach, Sean Nelson, I'm trying to see if he's been ejected as well.
Brittany Hernandez has been assessed with a technical foul and has been ejected from the game. Number 22, Claudia Meneses, has been assessed a technical foul and has been ejected from the game. The remaining players for New Mexico Highland Cowgirls are number 34, Kylie Rival, number 0, Miranda Martinez, number 33, Julia Simeone, number 52, Emma Hart, and number 4, Brittany Brown. All other members of New Mexico Highlands have been ejected.
So the technical fouls, free throws here for New Mexico Highland, it's Brittany Brown, and for UCCS, Abby Kirchhoff will take them.
Abby Kirchhoff down the line, shooting all of the technical free throws.
So officially ejected from the game, Michelle Tapia, along with Claudia Meneses, and Brittany Hernandez ejected for the Mountain Lions. So a double technical on Tapia and a technical foul on Meneses and a technical foul on Hernandez.
Hernandez, a tough ejection right now, but Kirchhoff at the line reaping a lot of free throws right now.
Let's go, Abby. Let's go, 5 left. That's the only players that can play.
So as you hear through the mic, Jared Verner, the sports information director here at UCCS, informing us just 5 players remaining for New Mexico Highlands, and we'll have to take a look at the foul situation for those 5. Have never done a game where a team is not finished with 5 players, but maybe a first tonight. You look at the personal fouls. Tapia had 4. She's out, but Johnson's got 2. Other than that, nobody else in foul trouble, so they should be okay. Finish out the final 14-24. So the free throws by Kirchhoff, 59-25 now UCCS.
And that was some free throw practice for senior Abby Kirchhoff. 10 free throws tonight, and hopefully these Mountain Lions can just get away with this victory tonight.
And Ramirez, 3-ball, no.
And you know, Josh, it's something to be said about this second game here tonight with the men's, you know, what follows, and hopefully those emotions can stay riled down a little bit.
No question about the good news for Jeff Culver's team, a lot of experience, and they've seen highs and had to come back and play after emotional victories, and certainly I think they'll have the right mindset you would expect tonight against New Mexico Highlands. I think this crowd's still just stunned, but what took place. I know I am. You may be in the same boat. I mean, it's something you don't expect to see, especially when it plays out just feet right in front of our broadcast booth.
And you know, it showed some senior leadership by Abby Kirchhoff, you know, just kind of walking off slowly, but you know, it's a sticky situation because you want to protect your players, and the one, if anything good came out of it, is that Brittany Hernandez, you know, sticks up for her players, but just might want to show it in a different way next time.
And I'll tell you, I was impressed with Shayna Leaf because it was Tapia going at Leaf. That's what started everything, and somehow she was able to hold back. Her teammates got to her in time, and unfortunately Hernandez wasn't able to kind of control the emotions. Nonetheless, ejections for both teams, and New Mexico Highlands playing with 5 players now for the remaining 13 and change here in this one. It's been all UCCS. Straight away, Highlands, 3-ball up and good. So Miranda Martinez, the junior out of Las Vegas, 3 straight away at 61-28. Now the speculation, no doubt, will start for Sean Nelson or the rest of the conference. 3-second violation on the mountain lines as far as, you know, Brittany Hernandez, how long will they be without her services?
And that's a tough thing. You know, we talked about the road trips coming up, and you got a Sea Springs rival in CSU Pueblo, and you got a tough place to play in Adams State, and I think that's they call it the Den, and you know, it's going to be a tough place to win without her.
And Adams State certainly down this year. They're in dead last in the conference standings. Offensive the call, and we got a player down as Kelly hit the deck. Offensive the call, and substitutions getting set to check in for the Mount Lions. 4 fresh bodies here with 13:09 to go, and I think the officials are still kind of stunned what's going on, and I don't know if it was a case. I wouldn't say they let this game get out of control, because usually you can see it building. You couldn't see it prior to that punch that was thrown by Michelle Tapia.
And you know, I think it was a good job. The refs did a good job in fact in really riling this up. But the thing they have to look at now is what is the repercussions and how chippy do they have to call it, because they do not obviously want a second fight tonight.
Well, and I think the key here, you know, most of the players in. Emma Hart was in prior to the ejection and prior to the fight, and Kylie Rebel, number 34. But we see a lot of new faces. 3 of the 4, actually 2 of the 3 really didn't see playing time prior to the fight. So we'll see how that carries over. And they know that, you know, anything else that goes on, and you know, they're not going to have 5 players to finish this game. So here we go. Free throws for Shannon Kelly, the southpaw, with 13:09 to go. They did count the basket. So that's what the official conference was about. They counted the basket. 3-point play is good. And the lead 64-28.
And Sean Nelson leaving it up to these supporting cast players to really finish out this game. I know they have a very large lead, but he does not want any more players to get in any more trouble, as emotions have kind of riled down here in Gallagly.
So at the free throw line, Kylie Reibel. 12:58 to go. 63% free throw shooter, hits the front end, and Anna Hubble back in for the Mountain Lions. Kelly to the bench. And got them both. So 34-point lead here for the Mountain Lions as Keenitz brings it across the timeline. And take it away. That's Miranda Martinez, the junior out of Las Vegas, New Mexico, off the bench. And taken away by Keenitz. And UCCS pressing again. Keenitz kick out, Hubble, extra pass. In the corner, 3-ball, got it. Kenzie Mitchell. First triple of the game, the lead pushed to 37. Just over 12 minutes to go.
And you know, a tough night for these Mountain Lions, losing Brittany Hernandez. But one good thing that comes out of tonight is that these role players will get some time, because UCCS, if hopes of going deep in the playoffs, they have to have an even deeper roster.
Fisher nearly loses it. That ball pressured by Reibel. And you would have to believe that Sean Nelson going to probably keep his starters on the bench for the rest of the night. Why risk anything else? 3-ball again, got it again. This time Anna Hubble, same spot. Mitchell drained the triple, and Hubble, her first 3 of the night. The lead is 40. Now this, no doubt, will play out as a lopsided victory for UCCS, but a numbing victory when they look back. And boy, for Sean Nelson, this, I think that could be a catch-22, because if you had another game, you could kind of put it behind you, but they've got a week to stew on this. Part of their meeting with CSU Pueblo on the 7th. Good ball fake, drive and dish. Hart, open look, gets the roll. So Emma Hart, the senior, the shooter's bounce. A 38-point lead now for UCCS. Again, Highlands down to 5 on the bench, and another three consecutive triples for the Mountain Lions. 3 different players. Keenan's the third to drop it in from long range. And the lead 41, timeout on the floor. Now going to be a late night here at the Gallagly Event Center. The men to follow. You see Brianna Finch talking to the 5 remaining players for Highlands. You know, let's not forget, this is a Highlands team last night. They came within 5 points of upsetting CSU Pueblo. They led at the half, and they played well early on, but UCCS kept the pedal down and just slowly built the lead. They had a commanding lead at the half. The Mountain Lions leading by 21, or rather 19, and no let up in the second half. And again, Highlands just erupted in a bad way. All but 5 players on the bench ejected for New Mexico Highlands. That came with just over 14 minutes to go, 14:24, I believe, the official time on the clock.
And you know, one good thing, Josh, is that seeing on the bench that Abby Kirchhoff, Shayna Leaf, some of the players who get a lot of the minutes are cheering on this supporting cast right now. A lot of emotions and good emotions for the UCCS bench.
Absolutely. So Miranda Martinez out of the timeout. Simeone. Martinez on the cut, floats it up and in. Boy, she's quick. Love the energy that the 5'4" junior brings off the bench for Brianna Finch's team.
And a lot of players in college, you know, get their start with other players going down, or possibly this game getting ejected. You know, you have, as the as the ball comes pretty close to us, but a lot of players do get their starts with when given minutes. So hats off to Martinez.
Pressures the ball there on Mitchell, nearly comes up with a takeaway, and she does. Martinez, left side, open 3, got it again. Brittany Brown, the southpaw from Norco, California. And Highlands with a little bit of rhythm here, and a lopsided score as we tick inside 9.5 minutes to go. 73-37, Hubble ball fake, doubled up, good dish, Patterson, finish. All right. Timeout on the floor. They're going to warn for batting the ball, I guess, delay of game. Nonetheless, timeout, all Mountain Lions, 75-37 here in the second half. Now at this point, Brianna Finch, boy, getting an opportunity to see what Miranda Martinez brings to this team. You got a couple of fresh bodies in, players that don't see a lot of playing time, as you mentioned, Brandon. Chance for them to really take advantage of this opportunity.
And, you know, players in Division II basketball, it is tough because you have a lot of good players. But if you're potentially that 10th or later in the roster, it is a great time, especially with their given situation with only 5 players eligible to play. I think is a great opportunity for these supporting cast players for the Cowgirls.
Mountain Lions break huddle. Cowgirls with their remaining 5 on the bench tonight. .9:22 to go.
And you know, Josh, this game seems to be getting longer and longer. I think these last 9 minutes are going to be a while.
No question about it. We have about 20 minutes typically between games, men and the women. So I mean, we're probably looking at least an 8 o'clock start. So Gabby Ramirez, pull up J, no. And there's Kruger battling for the rebound, and say last touch by UCCS. So we'll look forward now for the Mountain Lions. As we mentioned, CSU Pueblo on the 7th, and at Adams State, a team right now that's 2-11 in the conference standings. And Fort Lewis, they're right there. They're battling for a spot of the top 8 to try to reach the conference tournament. Skyhawks are 7-6. That will not be easy road trip. And then you got Chadron State, Black Hills State at home, at Regis, at Metro State. Of course, Regis payback on the minds of UCCS. They came in and, you know, knocked UCCS off. Major upset. Regis shot the lights out. A steal and a finish by Julia Simeone. So we'll see, but the key, I think, and obviously the good thing for UCCS, they have a ton of depth as it relates to, you know, how you're going to replace Brittany Hernandez, but, you know, we don't know how long she'll be out.
And some sloppy play here, Josh, for the Mountain Lions. I know the lead is still over 30 points, but Sean Nelson doing another lineup change, and these starters kind of struggling with this 1-1-3 zone the Cowgirls are throwing at them.
And Miranda Martinez bringing a spark defensively and offensively. A lot of quickness up top at the guard position for Highlands. Kirchhoff open, look for 3, and a great result. Abby Kirchhoff buries another triple. He's at 25 points tonight. The leading scorer in the RMAC came in averaging just under 21 a game. She still has a shot at the all-time scoring record of the RMAC. That's 1,996 points, and we did the math last night. With 9 games to go, including last night's game, she would need to average 31 a game over the remaining 9 of the regular season. I believe last night she had 14. And certainly tonight, well above that at 25, but I talked to some of the officials here prior to the game tonight from UCCS, and they do include postseason numbers. So assuming UCCS can go on a run of the RMAC tournament, and obviously they're hoping the NCAA tournament, there is a shot.
And that's a promising statistic for Abby, and I know she's doesn't hang her hat on the accolades, you know, does acknowledge them, but it is great to see her pursuing that number closer and closer.
Abby Kirchhoff already obviously the all-time leading scorer in UCCS history, over 1,700 points. Turnaround, no. Here's Ramirez, or Martinez. Good move, ball movement by Highlands. Simeone, no. And Patterson can't secure. And an easy bucket, Martinez too much. Inside of 7 minutes to go. Second half, all UCCS. Runner short. There's Hart to secure, and well, Highlands owning the offensive glass. How many opportunities do the Cowgirls get?
I think these Cowgirls are trying to even the offensive rebounds with UCCS in that first half deficit.
And look at how deep Fisher caught that, too easy. It went to her right hand on the left side.
She's a very versatile player. I think she's great in the low post and can also shoot the jump shot when given if the defense slacks off.
You gotta love what you see out of this UCCS team. Little duck under, left short by Johnson. Keenan's pushing. Mitchell in rhythm.
And you know, one thing I like to see here, Josh, is that UCCS, even Coach Nelson, is remaining like nothing happened. There was no fight that occurred. Still competitive and energetic on the bench.
Oh, great lob pass. Hart can't finish. I like what Ramirez brings to the floor. Check that Martinez. Shooter's bounce for Anna Hubble. And a timeout on the floor. Just over 8 minutes to go. The lead 40 for UCCS. Sean Nelson, his team, and lights out tonight. 40-point advantage right now. Just over 8 minutes to go. And you know, one of the impressive things, Brandon, about this UCCS team, obviously, they've knocked off the tough teams. They knocked off Colorado Mesa. Teams, you know, you expected them to get up for, but also the teams that you know, may have a more difficult time motivating your players for, like tonight against New Mexico Highlands, last night Western State, but, you know, they've stayed consistently night in, night out, no matter who the opponent is.
You know, that's one thing. If you want to be a top contender here in the RMAC, a great conference at that, you have to beat not only the top teams, like you said, but you have to beat those bottom teams. And one of those bottom teams coming up is Adams State, a tough place to play in the den there. So we will see that one in a couple weeks.
So out of the timeout, 40-point deficit as Miranda Martinez walks it up for New Mexico Highlands. Kirchhoff with the good hands. Abby with 24 points tonight, as you see Brittany Brown, 8 points for the Cowgirls. 8 different players have scored for New Mexico Highlands. They have had a difficult time taking care of the basketball. 22 turnovers for Highlands, 24 Mountain Line points off those 22 turnovers. Certainly a key statistic. Shot clock violation. And you can see it on the faces of both these players. They're just ready to get out of here tonight.
And even the crowd looking for this second game. The men's team went back in the locker room, something you kind of got to get motivated for this next game. And I know Jeff Culver will have a talk with his guys saying, hey guys, this is a great example of what not to do. Keep your heads, and this is, like I said, another setup game for the men.
Short on the long range attempt by New Mexico Highlands. Kelly, errant pass, and Simeone one-on-one, drops it back. And 2 off the turnover for Highlands as Kylie Rival finishes.
And these Mountain Lions struggling with the pressure of this 1-1-3 kind of 2-3 zone.
Kirchhoff, bump, kick out. Kelly 3. That was a good look. Can't finish. There's Leaf. And Shayna, good look. She's physical inside.
And you know, Josh, you kind of got to wonder, I think the subs are all coming in, but you know, at what point do you take out Abby Kirchhoff? I mean, you already don't have Brittany Hernandez. Want to try to get her out of the game.
And I thought we would see the starters on the bench for the rest of the game, but you know, perhaps it's as Ramirez comes up with a steal and pulls back for help. Maybe it's just a matter of trying to get some normalcy and his team just kind of back in the rhythm so they're not left with kind of a, hanging on the edge of a cliff going into this week. And another 3 rattled in for Kirchhoff. That's 28 points now for Abby Kirchhoff, and a timeout on the floor with 3:10 to go. Substitutions for the Mountain Lions here out of this timeout. And now they're going to say no timeout, just substitutions. They want to get this thing over, as do we. So Highlands walks it up. UCCS 2 minutes and change away from going to 18-3 overall, 13-2 in conference play of the runner. And before the shot, Kylie Ribel was fouled.
Foul called on number 44, Kelly Kruger, her first personal foul.
So number 1 on Kruger, the senior. As Miranda Martinez to inbound it for Highlands. Good hands near takeaway by Vigil. Good ball fake by Martinez. There's Simeone.
Martinez, the junior, gotta finish around the rim, but really knows where to be on this ball club, and right place, right time.
That's a great move inside by Emma Hart. Go over to the left hand. Yeah, it looks like the second game will probably start at about 8 o'clock, so not bad considering how everything unfolded here in the second half. Ramirez, no. And the officials doing a good job. They don't want this thing to get away again. I don't think there's any possibility of that happening, but they just want to make sure they're on top of every call here. The final 2:07 of this second half.
And quite frankly, Josh, I think that the refs have done a great job, and some of those fights you can't really see brewing like that.
Absolutely, and I don't think there was any indication. The only possible indicator would be the score. It was obviously all UCCS, but you didn't, at least from this standpoint, couldn't see the frustration playing out, and typically you can see players start to get a little bit chippy, throwing elbows and pushing and that sort of thing, but no indicator here tonight prior to that blow up. Around 14 minutes and 24 seconds to go here in the second half. So Mia Carter seeing action for the 3rd time this season. Last night, scored the first bucket of the season. First bucket, I should say, of her career. It's McKenna Heist. Final 1:45. And she traveled with basketball. Of course, Carter, a familiar last name here at UCCS. Older brother Jordan. Many good seasons with the Mountain Lions as well. Looks like she's got a little bit of older brother's athleticism as well. And a take to the hole.
I actually got a chance to see Jordan Carter last night at Blackout Night. It's great that these UCCS alum want to come back and really support on Blackout Night. And I think we're going to have a pretty decent crowd tonight for the men's game as well.
No doubt the student section filling up. So foul charge to Emma Hart. Number 3 on Hart with 1:16 to go. So Kelly Kruger with an opportunity here, a 1-and-1 situation. A 58% free throw shooter with one more. And great hustle by Heist to run down the loose ball. Vigil got it. Jen Vigil off the bench. great to see the sophomore out of Parker taking advantage of the playing time here tonight. And an answer from outside is Brittany Brown hits another triple. Inside a minute now. Game one of a doubleheader. V-Hill, another three. No on the roll. There's Heiss, stripped away. Held ball. And it will go to the Cowgirls. Final 38 seconds of this game. Well, the bench is still into it. Simeone, no on the reverse. Highlands will keep it here. 23 seconds to go as Emma Hart calls out the play. Brown again, no. Final 10 seconds, Heiss. And they're just going to hold on to it. That will do it. Now, all UCCS, this one is official. The Mountain Lions pick up their 18th win of the season. A final score of 89-53. So the Mountain Lions stay atop the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference standings, 18-3 and 13-2 in conference play. And Brandon, certainly there's going to be a lot to talk about in the locker room for head coach Sean Nelson. Bottom line, they got the win and a lot of teaching tools from this game here tonight.
And I think it's tough because you want to back up your player. You know, you want to help your star players, and it's going to be a big loss with Brittany Hernandez potentially being out for a couple games.
No doubt about it. Bottom line, though, they got the victory. Again, the final score, the UCCS 89 and New Mexico Highlands 53. That's going to wrap it up for the women's game here tonight. But in about 20 minutes, we got the men to follow, so more hoops coming up. We'll be back here in about 20 minutes with game two of the doubleheader.